Hey there, and welcome to another Forever Single. My name's JC, and I'm here to facilitate this video podcast where we go over the trauma, awkwardness, and comedy of the Age of Aquarius' love life. And of course, always with me, the superstar herself.
Hey guys, I am back with another crazy episode of stories from my online dating life, and this one's going to be a banger.
Ooh, alrighty. So, what are you going to title this whole excursion?
I'm going to call this one, How Married Are You to Those Carne Asada Fries?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
We got a health freak on our hands this time.
Ooh! What are we going to nickname this guy?
Well, he looked like an electrocuted Michael Phelps,
Oh.
and he was a redhead,
Okay.
so we're going to call him Carrot Top.
Alrighty. And where did you meet this man?
So, again, a theme, desperation. I met him on Hinge because that was the last app standing.
What were your impressions of his photos?
Well, I thought that he was definitely attractive. I'm like,
Okay.
ooh, like tall, lean, but muscular.
Okay.
So not like super buff, but you know, like that thin, kind of skinny buff. And yeah, he had like a good smile. He seemed pretty cool. But every single one of his pictures was fitness related. So either he was doing a 100-yard dash, he was swimming, he was in the mud. It was like Ninja Warrior.
Ooh. Over the next couple of days, I'm guessing that you were kind of chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And then the day of the date comes.
Yeah, so when we were chit-chatting on that previous Friday, I was like, hey, this is my schedule. I'm a weekend warrior. I don't have time during the week, and if I do, I like to do it relatively early, before 7. And he was like, okay, cool. But then it was like Monday or Tuesday, and he texts me, and he's like, hey, want to get a drink? And it was like 9:30 at night.
Even though you had said, hey, I like to do things before 7, not in the depths of the night.
Yeah, reading comprehension was not one of his strong suits. So I was just like, yeah, I can't go out tonight. He was like, okay, cool. Next day, texted me at maybe 8:30 and said, let's go out for a drink. I'm like, does he have multiple hoes and he can't remember conversations? Or is he dumb?
Or, nope, that was basically it.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I cannot. I'm already tucked in bed looking like the Snoop Dogg with the bonnet on me. I am comfy. Okay, I have a lot of staring at the wall to do. I am busy. I can't go out tonight. So then the next night, again, a weekday, probably Thursday, he's like, hey, want to go out? Again at like 8:45, 9 o'clock at night. And at this point, I'm like, he needs help. So I'm going to try to, bring along some reading exercises once I meet him in person. And so I decided to just, brush off the fatigue and the do-rag for the night and get dressed to go.
Oh, okay. So
we decided to go to one of my favorite dive bars and play some darts. But we will say, thankfully, he looked like his pictures. He was nice. He was super tall and cute. So I'm like, okay, promising. So, we played a few games. We had a beer or two. And then by this point, it's like probably 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go. But he's like, hey, do you want to have one more drink at the bar next door? And I'm like, no, but trying to get a husband. Start over. So we go to the next bar, and this is when
the personality. The personality comes out.
The inner asshole comes out, and I can't wait.
All right, so his inner asshole decides to blossom, and in what form?
Yeah, so we started talking about aspirations and travel and things that we wanted to do in our life, yada yada. And I was like, yeah, I just want to go more places, experience more things. And he was just like, well, what are you going to do to make that happen? I'm like, I don't know, fucking make a mood board? Like, what? set the plans and execute them? Like, what do you want from me?
Right, so you have that experience. We're starting to see a little bit of those,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, tell us how it progresses.
Yeah, so he was saying, yeah, I'm going out of town for my strongman competition this weekend. blah, blah, blah. I just want to reiterate how much health and fitness is so important to me. It's my passion. It's my hobby. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And he's like, I was wondering, like, what's your diet like? I'm a vegan and I kind of want to date someone who's into veganism and fitness and staying in shape. And I'm like, I don't know if you've ever heard that song by Bob Dylan called It Ain't Me, Babe. But I certainly hope you listen to it tonight, sir.
So what food in particular was he just like, no?
He was not into anything that was just not straight up health food, and he decided to broach the question and ask me what my indulgence was on like a cheat day. And I was like, Rockstar, the black one, the plain one, fave, and Carne Asada fries. But he was like, yeah, I'm just looking for super healthy whatever. And I'm like, well, I probably am not going to go down that road, but I'm definitely trying to be more cognizant. I've tried, vegetarianism here and there. I'm open-minded to it. And he was like, okay, well, as long as you're cool with that, as long as you're cool with being open-minded, I'm fine with it. And I'm like, okay, as long as you understand that I am not going to become, the lean green grilling machine, then we can go out on another date.
I'm about to say, you would be the handsmaid to the Jolly Green Giant.
And then the next day, I get a text from him first thing in the morning, and he goes, I was thinking about last night when we were talking about, and I was just wondering, how married are you to those carne asada fries? So we have a grown man in the comfort of his own home thinking overnight about the fact that I said that I want to eat carne asada fries as a cheat meal. That had him so bothered to his core. That was his sole takeaway from a day of conversation. Yeah, I was feeling a little bad for him. So when we planned our next date, I was like, hey, let's go to a vegan place and try some vegan food. Humor him.
That's nice. I mean, that's nice of you. That's, you're being open-minded. So what happens?
So we pull up to this vegan place, and he is, asshole mode 2.0. And he was like, wow, I never thought you'd want to go to a vegan restaurant.
Great way to start it, bud.
Like, he's acting like I just said I like to eat dog biscuits. Like, it's not outlandish for a person who doesn't always eat, vegetarian or vegan style food to go to a vegan or vegetarian restaurant. So I just rolled my eyes. I was like, well, whatever. So we get our, our lettuce and crumpets, and we're sitting there, and we start talking about travel and, expounding upon, the conversation from before. So I said the name of a country I wanted to go to, and I think I said the wrong city within the country. Mm-hmm. How dare I?
I know.
Wow. Don't know a geography off the top of my head. So he became disgruntled, and he was like, wow, didn't think you looked that dumb.
This man, on a second date, based off a little hiccup, decides to call his date dumb.
Key and Peele.
I was like, I said,
I was like, did you just call me dumb? And he was like, oh, no. I was like, in my head, done deal.
You were like, I have auditory processing skills. I heard what you said.
It's like, wow, bro. That's what I actually asked him how long of a relationship he had been in the past, because I had to know. I was like, there is nobody who could have been dating you. And sure as hell, he had only been in a relationship for a year before. And he was probably like 27, 28. So I was like, ooh. I mean, everyone moves at their own pace, but given the asshole status of this man, it was easy for me to discern that he is probably undateable. So we got through the date, I got home, and it was midweek, and later on he was kind of texting me like, hey, I'm going to my Tough Mudder in Vegas this weekend. I want to see you before I leave. I'm like, okay. Thinking in my mind, there is no way in HE double hockey sticks that I'm going out again with this man.
That man would have to resurrect Papa Legba and perform a spell to get you to do it.
Yes. So I'm like, sometimes when I'm feeling a little bratty, I start to stir the pot. So I regress to my 13-year-old self and just start doing shit. So I was like, okay, yeah, like we can go on this date, blah, blah, blah. And then the night of, I'm like, I'm not going on this date. So I ended up calling 2 of my friends. I was like, what's up tonight? What's going on? They told me their plans to meet at a brewery. I'm like, can I go? And invited myself to their plans, went to their plans, had a great night. And while I was in the Uber on the way to said soiree, I was like, hey, listen, I cannot hang out tonight. Sorry. Something came up. He was pissed. A couple days passed and he had cooled down. And he was like, yeah, I just came back from my competition. Like, you know, it's fine. I understand plans change. But, you know, I just really wanted to see you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. But I'm like, why though? We've only been on like 2 dates. Like, why are you being so, you know, persistent? I had to find out at this point.
Okay, so you ask him, yo, what are your intentions going forward? Just to kind of feel him out.
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know.
And that doesn't make any sense because he is being very persistent in wanting to see you.
Yeah, so suddenly he has no idea what he's getting up and doing things. So again, we are concerned about, you know, cognition at this point.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a phantom is controlling his body if he is continuously texting an individual and setting plans. You have no idea why you're doing that. Okay, so audience at home, why do you think that he doesn't know?
I'm about to say, Santa, give him some coal because all he wants is that hole.
So I was just like, well, that's cool that you were having, you know, amnesia about your intentions. I, on the other hand, am looking to date an individual and discern whether or not I want to continue dating them and hopefully commit to them at a point.
Yes.
I'm not in a rush to do so, but that is my intention with online dating.
So, you were 100% truthful, authentic, and what was the result?
Ghosted.
Wow.
Yep.
He turned into Casper?
He turned into Casper and he left me on red receipts on top of it.
Call Ed and Lorraine Warren. We have the conjuring going on here. There is a malevolent spirit playing games.
I'm like, you look like a redhead Gumby ate too much protein powder, okay? You should be happy. I'm sorry.
What did you learn from this experience?
Do not date a man who has Build-A-Bitch syndrome, okay? If he doesn't want to accept you as you are from the beginning at face value, cut him, son.
Well, I am very excited to go get some Carne Asada fries after this.
Me fucking too.
I am exhausted, and I know you are as well, because we just went over the trauma, awkwardness, and comedy of the Age of Aquarius' love life. My name is JC, and as always,
I'm Age of the Aquarius, baby. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hit the bottom of throttle, I pull till it's empty. Might lose my head, it could probably come to get me.